or any drugs. The South African Police Service, working with other state and provincial authorities, say they're committed to reducing crime, particularly over the festive period, such as the Christmas holidays. The World Health Organization estimates that of all the accidents that occur on South African roads, 58% are attributed to alcohol. Joining us in studio now just to give us a sense of how they are proceeding with many of the operations during this festive season. Vish, Naidoo, thank you very much for your time. The spokesperson of the South African Police Service. Vish, obviously you've been ready for quite some time now. You don't have particular key focus areas, but tell us a bit about how you're prepared for this particular festive season to ensure that everyone is safe.
Well, very good morning to Griselda, and thank you for this opportunity. Yes, you're quite right. We have been in our operational phase since at least the 1st of November this year, when the festive season operations was launched by the Minister as well as the National Police Commissioner in Port Elizabeth. Since then, we've been working very closely, as you rightfully put it, with other agencies. That's your traffic departments, your other government agencies like Home Affairs, the South African Revenue Services, various government departments, including Department of Social Development, Department of Health, our private ambulance services, but not forgetting private security. We're working very closely with them as well. They play a very fundamental role in our efforts to prevent and combat crime. So yes, we do have focus areas. Our focus areas are not limited and restricted to, but we're concentrating on areas where we're expecting a huge influx of people. Our roads are our primary concern every year. During long weekends, festive season, we seem to have an increase in road carnage, coupled with drinking and driving and abuse of other drugs. We find that overexertion and exhaustion are other contributing factors. When people have overexerted and they're tired, they tend to speed. That also contributes to accidents, and we're finding that far too many people are losing their lives on our roads. But
of course, perhaps those will be traveling long distances to other areas. You'll also be monitoring, I understand, bus stations, train stations as well.
That's right.
Talk to us a bit about this multi-pronged approach that the South African Police Service seems to have. It's not the first time this year that has been implemented, but talk to us a bit about how, together with all these other agencies, you're working together to ensure that everyone who's in a festive period will enjoy with their families.
Well, remember, for this period, we have adopted a 6-pillar approach, which is your aggravated robberies, which police and private security, together with other local authorities, can help, which they have been helping, particularly with our cash and transit heists you've seen in May this year. They were happening almost on a daily basis. Now we've managed to reduce them to 1 in a month or 1 in 2 months and so forth. Then we also, of course, we're looking at crimes against women and children, people with disabilities, people of the vulnerable groups. We're looking at proliferation of firearms and ammunition. We're looking at border control. We're looking at liquor outlets. So there the Department of Trade and Industry comes in. Then we're looking at, basically covering all six of those areas. And as police, we cannot do it alone. We have to have, like, crimes against women and children, Department of Health, Department of Social Development, departments that play a critical role as well. As I said, when it comes to, that one of our biggest contributing factors to contact crimes, assault with the intent to cause grievous bodily harm, murders, attempted murders. The primary cause of those kind of criminal activities is alcohol-related or drug-related.
And I want to talk about that, Vish, because you speak on behalf of police nationally. I think I was just reading the other day that already in KwaZulu-Natal, well, I guess because of the influx of people towards the coastal areas, there'd already been over 780-something people, if I'm not mistaken, who had been arrested for offences, but in the majority relating to the abuse of alcohol or driving drunk. Well, this must be of major concern to you.
Well, it is of major concern. What's very concerning is that when we launched the festive season operations, we highlighted the zero tolerance approach to drinking and driving or abuse of drugs and speeding on the roads and so forth, primarily because the past experience has taught us that people are losing their lives unnecessarily on our roads. So we have adopted a zero tolerance approach. What you are reading is what's been communicated, what's in the media space, but all over the country we are arresting people in great numbers. In Gauteng, Western Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Eastern Cape, your bigger provinces, but operations are taking place in the other 5 provinces as well, where people are being arrested. People just don't seem to want to listen. We have transport services like Uber services, Drive Me Home services. Insurance companies are coming to the fore. They are helping us to ensure that people do not drive drunk. So they are also providing transport services for them. There's other public transport available to people, which they just don't seem to want to use as an alternative when they are consuming alcohol.
What do you think is the challenge? Perhaps is it in our messaging as South Africans, not just the police, but perhaps, you know, all those who've come together to try and drive this message home of saying to South Africans, it's wrong to get behind the wheel when you've had one too many. Is it in our messaging? What could be the problem that South Africans are not getting?
Well, Cassandra, what could be a better message than on our national roads? Vehicles that have been involved in crashes have been placed there as a reminder of what can happen to somebody if they speed, if they drive under the influence of alcohol, or if they drive under the influence of drugs. What could be a better reminder than that? Despite our verbal communications, our visits to the provinces, interacting with people, highlighting our concerns as far as safety is concerned, both on the roads as well as in respect of criminality. You know, we've put out safety tips just last week as well, knowing that it's a long weekend. There we've highlighted our concerns about drinking and driving and speeding on our roads, as well as the points that I've made about exertion, overexertion and exhaustion. So even, you know, we put out those safety tips. They also on our website. We're constantly communicating with people, and we will repeat this message. Come now, Christmas and Boxing Day. Before that, we'll repeat the message. Come New Year's and Eve, because there's a lot of celebrations taking place during that period. We'll repeat that message there as well. So communication is there. People know. I mean, social media is there. Various media platforms are there. People are interactive. It's not just a one-way thing anymore. There's interactive. There's conversations taking place. Like now, we are in conversation. People are watching. They're listening. Radio stations. So there's a lot of communication taking place. I
hope at some point there'll come an attitude change amongst us as South Africans to also ensure that we keep ourselves safe and not obviously bring others into harm's way. Thank you very much for your time. Vishnu, Naidoo, who is the spokesperson for the South African Police Service, talking to us a bit about their plans, what they've been doing since the 1st of November, trying to get all of their plans underway into ensuring that all of you are safe as you embark on your journeys going to the festive season, as well as visiting your families as well. Are we going to Braamfontein now? We do understand that the Johannesburg Metro